So welcome everybody. We got there in the end with starting this class. I don't know what was happening there. So tonight we are going to be focusing on stress relief since it's Stress Awareness Month, and we will do the same again next week. You will need a strap. So everyone who's on live, I've already told you, but if you're joining the replay, you will need a strap or a dressing gown strap or a belt, something like that you can use, because we're going to be focusing on releasing tension from the legs and the hips, where we can tend to store a lot of kind of stress and emotions. And then we'll also be focusing on some stress relieving poses, including kind of forward folds predominantly, and some twisting to try and wring out any tension that we've got. We're going to start lying down, so we'll come straight to lie on our mats. Just make sure you've got your strap somewhere nearby where you can reach it. You can just lie in Shavasana. And if it's comfortable to do so, we'll bring one hand to the tummy, one hand to the chest. Just closing your eyes, starting to bring your awareness to your breath. Just breathing in and out through the nose. Just start by simply noticing how the breath is today. If you have been feeling any sort of stress, I'm sure you have to some extent, just checking in with that stress level, checking in with how your body's feeling, and maybe setting an intention to try and let go of any of that you can do today with this practice. Maybe choosing one thing in particular that's been stressing you that you want to try and just release, or at least for the next hour or so. And while we're here, we'll take a scan of the body. So again, if we are feeling any stress, any anxiety, just noticing if there's anywhere where you're feeling that in your body. Scanning down from the head, checking whether you're tensing or furrowing the brows, softening through the jaw. I know I'm one for clenching my jaw when I'm tense. Releasing the shoulders down, away from the ears, relaxing them onto the mat. Checking with the upper back, down through the torso. Notice if there's any tension in your lower back at all. And down into the hips again, just checking with how they're feeling. And down through the legs, ankles, the feet and the toes. And then drawing your attention back to your breath, we'll take 3 deep cleansing breaths together. So on each exhale, just imagining that you're letting go of tension, seeing if you can relax a little bit more. Deep inhale through the nose, exhale fully through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. One more the same. Just returning to breathing comfortably through your nose. Release the arms down beside you. And just taking hold of your strap. You're going to start to bend into the right knee. And you might want to bend the left knee and place the foot down on the mat, or you might be able to keep the leg extended. You can always start with the foot on the mat if you're not too sure. You're going to take the strap around the ball of the right foot and start to draw that leg in towards you. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. A little bend into the knee is fine. Just trying to stretch through the hamstring, releasing any tension there. So either keeping the left foot down to the mat, maybe sliding the leg away. My hamstrings are way too tight today, so I'll be taking this option. So just work out which one's good for you. And then just try and relax the shoulders down to the mat. So holding far enough down the strap that you're not reaching yourself up, putting tension into your neck. Just taking some deep breaths. Imagine you're sending the breath into the right leg. And then taking the strap with both hands into the right hand. Use the left hand to anchor the left hip down. We're going to open the leg out to the right hand side. So just as far as you can before you feel like your left hip is going to lift up. And then bringing the leg back to center. And now you will need to slide the left leg away. So it's fine if the right leg then needs to go further down. You can't bring it in as far. We're going to take it across the body. Swapping the strap into the left hand, right arm releases down beside you and sweeping the right leg across the body. Keeping right shoulder anchored down so your chest is able to stay facing up. Taking it across your body any amount. Bringing the right leg back to center. Gently releasing the strap, extending the right leg and just checking with how it feels now compared with the left leg. Mine feels like it could be a couple of inches longer, maybe yours does, maybe it feels the same. And then we'll swap on to the other side. So bending the left knee, take the strap around the ball of the foot, and then either right leg extended or keeping the right foot down to the mat. Drawing the left leg in towards you again, just trying to keep the shoulder blades down on the mat. As little arm strength as possible. So you may notice you've got really tight hamstrings. If you're anything like me, you've got tight hamstrings. So energetically, we think of tight hamstrings or any hamstring injuries and pain as to do with a fear of stepping forward into new things, like a fear of stepping into something new. But also if we're sat at the desk all day long or doing a lot of sitting generally, then our hamstrings are going to become contracted. So it's really good to stretch them out and lengthen them again. And then taking the strap with the left hand, so both parts of the strap into the left hand, right hand's going to help anchor the hip down as we open the leg out to the left hand side. So again, just being mindful of keeping the hip grounded down. No expectation of how far you think you should go. Just listening to your body. Gently bringing the left leg back to center. Extending the right leg now so that we can sweep the leg across the body. Reaching left arm out to the side. Just noticing if there's any differences on this side to the last. Coming back to center. releasing the strap. You can just pop that over to the side somewhere. Extending the left leg. Hopefully they feel a bit more evened out now. And then bending both knees, placing the feet down to the mat. Going to extend the right leg again. And this time just holding behind the thigh. Just going to point the toes and then flex the foot a few times. Pointing the toes up and then flexing toes back towards you. But again, this could feel quite intense depending on how tight your legs are, your muscles are. One more like this, and then just circling the ankle one way, and then the other. And then bending that knee, and we're going to take the left ankle just above the right knee for reclined pigeon. From here, either staying here or drawing the left leg in towards you, holding back behind the thigh or the shin. Just thinking about pressing that right knee open, keeping the right foot flexed. You release the left foot down to the mat, and then the right foot to join it. And before we go on to the other side, just coming through a bridge pose. So releasing the arms down beside you. And then on an inhale, slowly peeling the hips up off the mat. On an exhale, gently lowering it back down. Inhale to lift. Exhale back down. Just being mindful of keeping the knees in line with the ankles. Drawing the thighs in towards each other. Lowering back down. This time extended the left leg, just holding behind the thigh. And then for a few times, pointing the toes up towards the ceiling, and then flexing the foot so the toes are pointing back towards you. You can move with your breath. Inhale to point up, and exhaling, flexing the foot. Now just circling the ankle one way, and then the other. Bending the knee so that you can bring the right ankle just above the left knee, recline pigeon, and then drawing in the right leg any amount that works for you. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's lots of farm noises going on in the background today. Like we've got tractors and all sorts. Gently releasing the right leg down, then left foot to join it, so about hip distance apart, arms down beside you. Inhale, rolling up to your bridge pose. Exhale, back down. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, back down. And one more the same. Putting the knees in towards the chest, have a little rock backwards and forwards down the length of the mat. Before coming all the way up to sit, crossing at the ankles, coming over onto hands and knees. Coming through a few cat and cow curls on the inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze. Exhale, rounding the spine, gaze towards tummy. Just making sure your hips are aligned over your knees, shoulders over the wrists. 3 more with your breath. Coming back to a neutral spine, bring the hands forward, planting them and spreading the fingers wide, coming into our first downward dog, tucking the toes and pushing the hips up and back. But if we are suffering with stress, sometimes we can hold tension around our lower back. So if this is you and you are having any sensitivity in the lower back, maybe just pedaling, bending one knee and then the other, keeping the knees generously bent so that you can get a nice bit of length into the back, into the spine. From here, reaching the right leg up behind you, bending the knee to open through the hip, and then re-straighten the leg, step it through between the hands. If it needs a bit of help, you can do. And then placing left knee down, and we're going to come straight into a twist. So left hand staying grounded, right arm opening up, wringing out any tension. Bringing the hands back down to the mat, and then straightening the front leg. Again, any amount that feels right for you. Half splits. Maybe folding in towards the right leg, or maybe you're up really high, doesn't matter. Walking the hands forward, framing the foot, tucking the back toe, stepping back to your downward dog. Coming onto the other side, inhale, reach the left leg up, and then bending the knee to open through the hip. Re-straightening the leg, stepping or helping it through between hands. Placing right knee down, twisting open to the left this time. Left hand comes back down to the mat, straightening through the left leg, coming into your half split. Maybe folding in, maybe staying up high. Think about trying to keep length into the spine, so not necessarily rounding it, trying to stretch it forward. Walking the hands back and bending that left knee, stepping back to your downward dog. Maybe pedaling in this pose, or walking the feet towards the hands at the top of the mat. Coming into just a soft dangling forward fold. So again, soften the knees as much as you need. You can bend them generously. Maybe holding opposite elbows. Imagine that our stress and our tension is pouring out of the top of your head. And then releasing the hands, slowly rolling up to stand. Roll your shoulders back and away from ears. And then split hands sideways. We're going to see how our balance is faring. But you might just need your strap again with this one. So if you've got it close by, just going to pop it over the right hand shoulder. So grounding the feet down. Taking the weight into the left leg, and then drawing the right knee in, and we'll see if we can take the strap around the ball of the right foot. Extending the right leg. You can keep as much bend into the knee as you need. And find a focus point on the floor or the wall. Opening the leg out to the side, any amount. And bend the knee as you come back to the center, releasing the strap. You can just pop it over your shoulder, or you can pop it down on the floor for a minute. This time, drawing the knee in hands. Opening it out, and we're coming into our tree pose. So bringing the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Once you feel steady, finding a focus point on the floor of the wall, bringing hands to heart. You can either stay here or for 3 breaths with me, inhaling, palms reach up. Exhale, opening them up, sweeping them back to the heart. Inhale up. Exhale, opening up, come back to the heart. Last one. Releasing the right foot down. Give the legs a little shake out if you need. And then we'll come on to the other side. So this time we're taking the weight into the right foot, bending the left knee, making a strap around the ball of the left foot, send the leg. If you're finding that balance is really tricky for you, this is not unusual if you are suffering with any stress, any sort of stress or anxiety. When your mind's preoccupied with other things, it's very difficult to balance. So just see if you can bring yourself back into the present moment. Lifting the leg up to the side. Being fully in what we're doing right now, fully in your body, fully focused on your balance, not taking yourself too seriously. And releasing the leg, top strap down, resetting the feet. We're staying with the weight into the right leg. Bend the knee. Left knee in towards the chest. Opening up to the side. Taking it into your tree pose. So the left foot's either going to be to the thigh, maybe to the calf, maybe even toes on the mat, just not pressing into the opposite knee. You're facing forward, just bringing your hands to heart. Really focusing on a point on the floor, wall, balance. Remembering to breathe. Either staying here or coming with me for 3 breaths. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, opening and bringing the hands back to the heart. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, opening back to the heart. Last one. Gently releasing the left leg. Giving the legs a little shake out. Coming back to the top of the mat. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, folding all the way down. So coming through a bit of a half sun salutation. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. 2 more rounds the same. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, folding all the way down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Interlacing the fingers. And then sweeping the hands up and pushing them away. Take an inhale as you stretch up. And then now reaching over to the right hand side, pushing your hip out to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale center. Exhale, flipping the hands, drawing them down to the heart. Just turning sideways on your mat and taking a big step out. So we want to land with both feet parallel to the short edges of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, open them out shoulder height. Take an inhale here. Exhale, hands come to the waist. Inhale, lifting through the chest. Now, hinging from the hips, folding forward. So you might feel more comfortable to keep your hands at your waist if you're already tight in the back of the legs or the lower back. Otherwise, releasing the hands down towards the mat. If you've got any blocks or cushions, you can always use those to prop up the hands if you're not quite reaching to the ground. And again, with these forward folds, they're really restorative and really good for kind of soothing and calming. So do imagine that we're releasing the stress. Try and let the neck be loose and the head be heavy. So just check in that you're not still holding on to any tension, trying to lift your head up. And then bringing the hands back to the waist if they're not there already. Inhale, slowly rolling up to stand. And then turning left foot parallel with the short edge of the mat, right toes towards the top of the mat or end of the mat. Bringing your arms out to shoulder height. And then bending into that front knee, coming into warrior two. Gaze along the front fingertips, the right fingertips. Really stretching the fingertips to the front and the back of the mat. Pushing the right knee open, keeping it aligned over the ankle. Then turning the right palm over, reaching back, reverse warrior. Keep that bend in your front knee. Coming back to center. Straighten the front leg. And right foot parallel. Left toes towards the top of the mat. Bending into the left knee this time, warrior two on the other side. Again, really stretching the fingertips to the front and the back of the mat. Keep bend into that left knee a little bit more. Turning front palm over, reaching back, reverse warrior. And then coming back to the center. Straighten the front leg, releasing the arms down, and then you can take a big step towards the top of the mat. Just reset the feet here. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, folding all the way down. Inhale, halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold, this time planting the hands down, stepping back to your downward dog. From here, we're going to reach the right leg up behind us, bend the knee to open through the hip, then re-straighten the leg, and we're swinging it through to bring the right knee behind the right wrist. We started the class with our recline pigeon, now we're coming into our normal pigeon pose. But bend the left leg straight behind us. Lift the chest up to begin with. Stretching the chest forward and then folding down any amount. You might be on your forearms. You might be resting your forehead onto hands, or you might be all the way down, resting forehead onto the mat. Just check in to see how even your hips feel. If you've completely collapsed over to the left-hand side, maybe just easing yourself back so the hips feel even again. And gently press into the hands, lifting your chest back up. And then we're going to try and roll ourselves towards our right hip and swing the left leg round in front of us. We'll need to make some little adjustments. We're going to end up with the right foot to the inside of the left thigh, left leg long. Coming into a forward fold, but we're going to make it really passive yin style one. So start by lifting the chest, hinging with a flat back forward, and then allow yourself to round and soften. You can turn the palms up so that you're not tempted to pull into the pose. Folding in towards the left leg. Just try and allow yourself to completely relax into it. Turning the palms to face down, gently pushing into the hands to ease yourself back up. Picking up the right leg, going to cross it over the left. Rather than having the foot down, you're going to start to edge it round. See if you can start to stack the right knee over the left knee. It might not make it all the way, you might be more over here, but just whatever degree you can. Coming into half shoelace. So sometimes we've done full shoelace where we've got both legs underneath us and the knee stacked, or cow face, it's called sometimes. But just doing it on one side, the right leg comes over, lifting up, and this might be enough for you already. If you would like to, you can start to fold on it. Nice flat back. Easing yourself back up. Going to cross at the ankles, rolling over onto hands and knees, stepping it back to your downward dog. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Make sure you're pressing into the fingers, not just the wrist. Then inhale, left leg rises, bending the knee to open through the hip. Re-straightening the leg and coming into pigeon on the other side. So left knee swings through behind the left wrist. Extending the right leg behind you. Starting by lifting through the chest, lengthening up. Before folding down any amount that's right for you. Forearms, resting forehead to hands, or maybe all the way down to the mat. Again, just checking in with your hips that you're not all the way over to one side. Gently pushing into the hands to ease yourself back up. This time rolling onto the left hip, swinging the right leg round. Left foot coming to the inside of the right thigh. Inhale, lifting a lengthening. Exhale, start to hinge and then allowing yourself to round. Let it be a passive pose. So you really want to let go of any tension in your back. You're not pushing or pulling when it's a passive version. You are literally letting your head be heavy, letting your body dangle down. Stretching all along the back of the spine, the entire posterior chain. And then just turning the hands so the palms are facing down, gently pushing yourself back up. Picking up the left foot, taking it across the right leg, just as far over as you can. Thinking about aiming the left knee over the right as much as you can. And then either staying here if it's enough, maybe folding in if you would like. So lifting up, folding down. Gently pushing yourself up, releasing the left leg, crossing at the ankles, coming over onto hands and knees this time. Hands coming under shoulders, knees under hips. And then walking the hands forward, coming into a puppy stretch. So reaching forward, starting to drop the chest down towards the mat. Trying to keep the hips aligned over the knees. In yin, it's called melting heart. So just imagine we're melting our heart down towards the mat. Letting go of any tension in the shoulders. And then just gently pushing into the hands, bringing knees together, heels together, walking ourselves back. And we're going to come all the way back into a really gentle child's pose. So folding over the thighs, arms can wrap round behind you, palms facing up. Forehead just resting down to the mat if it reaches. Just feeling fully supported by the mat. It's really restorative pose. Gently pressing the hands into the mat, bringing your body up. Sitting back onto your heels, bringing hands to the heart. Take an inhale at center, exhale, just twist and forth over the right. Couple of breaths here. And then back to the center. Inhale at center, then exhale as you twist to the left. And taking a couple of breaths in your twist. Coming back to center. Releasing the hands and extending the legs out in front of you. One more forward fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hinging forward. This time we are going to keep a flat back. Maybe reaching for the feet or the shins or the thighs. Maybe reaching the crown of the head forward. As though you're lengthening out the spine, releasing any tension in the lower back. And then gently coming back to center. Rolling ourselves to lie down on our back. From here, just bringing both feet down to the mat again. Knees pointing up. Finishing off with half happy baby pose. So the left foot's going to stay down on the mat. The right knee either can hug in towards the chest, if that's enough for you, or you're going to extend it so that the foot's pointing up towards the ceiling and just holding on to the foot, bringing the elbow to the inside of the right knee. And you can just let the left knee flop out to the side a little bit if you like. Just drawing the right foot down as if you were drawing the knee down towards the armpit. And just releasing some tension across the hips, the lower back. Taking 3 deep rounds of breath. Gently release the right foot. Bring the right foot down to the mat, swapping over to the left. Either knee towards the chest, or the foot's going to point up towards the ceiling, drawing it down, half happy baby. Three deep breaths here. Try and relax the lower back down to the mat. Gently releasing the left foot. Just bringing soles of the feet together, letting knees fall out to the side. One hand to chest, one hand to tummy. Reclined butterfly for just a few breaths. Breathing all the way down to your tummy, so you're feeling the breath with your hands that travels through past your chest to your tummy. And then all the way back out again. One last breath here. And just bringing your hands down towards your knees. Gently guide them back in towards each other. You might want to just widen the feet and let the knees drop in towards each other for a moment. And then just windscreen wiper action. So feet about hip distance apart, just dropping the knees to one side, back to the center, over to the other side. Just doing that a couple more times. Hugging knees in towards the chest now. Giving yourself a great big hug. Maybe a little rock from side to side. Any final movements you feel called to do before we come into Shavasana. And releasing the legs, coming into Shavasana, our final resting pose. So just extend the legs long. Arms down beside you with palms facing up. Allow yourself to take up the room. Just adjusting until you feel really comfortable. And then allowing yourself to be completely still. Just gently closing your eyes. Let your breath settle in its normal pattern. Feel your forehead soften and your body get heavy on the mat. So you allow yourself now to completely relax from the top of your head to the tips of your fingers, to the tips of your toes. Just taking a few minutes now, soaking the benefits of our practice. Simply breathe and be. Just start to breathe a little bit deeper now. Bring some awareness back to the body. A little bit of movement to the fingers, to the toes. Maybe gently rolling the head from side to side. Gradually making the movements a little bit bigger, maybe circling through the wrists and the ankles, until they lead you into a nice big full body stretch. And when you're ready, just gently rolling onto your side, curling up into a little ball. Pausing for a moment, or easing yourself back up to a comfortable seated position. Good. Just bringing hands to the heart, gently closing your eyes if you'd open them. Just taking a moment to check in with how you're feeling now compared with how you felt at the start of the practice. And just taking a moment to thank yourself as well for taking the time to de-stress, unwind, just make a little time for yourself. Closing your practice with a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me for this stress relief yoga practice. May the peace of yoga stay with you all.